In our world lead, Israel's security cabinet has been meeting for more than 5 hours now, and there is still no final decision announced on whether to endorse Prime Minister Netanyahu's call for Israeli forces to occupy all of Gaza. Netanyahu talked with Fox earlier today to explain his thinking.
Will Israel take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do.
CNN's Matthew Chance is with us from Amman, Jordan. Matthew, what are you hearing about this ongoing debate about whether Israel should occupy all of Gaza?
Well, first of all, that security cabinet meeting, Jake, is still underway. It's been going on, as you mentioned, for more than 5 hours. We don't know whether it's going to break up soon or whether it's going to go on through the night. But I think that's a reflection of just how divided, not just the cabinet and the government, but the country at large, Israel is about what to do about Gaza, about how, first and foremost, to get the hostages back. There are still 50 hostages, 20 of them still believed to be alive, inside the Gaza Strip. And you've got elements on the right wing of Israeli politics that want the military to double down and for Hamas to be destroyed as a means of removing the threat, but also getting the hostages back. But according to the latest opinion polls, the vast majority of Israelis want the opposite. They want a deal to be cut with Hamas as soon as possible as a sort of guarantee of getting as many hostages back alive as possible. And there's a great deal of concern and anger in the country that there's a possibility the war, which has drained the energy from the nation, from the reservists, from people in general, may continue now if Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, gets his way and fulfills his intention to take full military control of the Gaza Strip. I mean, just very briefly, the 25% of Gaza that the Israelis don't fully control, that's where the majority of the Palestinian people are, and it's also believed to be where the majority of the hostages are. And so potentially their lives will be at risk with a further military operation.
And Matthew, you're in Amman, Jordan, because you were able to ride along on a Jordanian airdrop of food to help those starving in Gaza. Tell us about that.
Yeah. I mean, look, these have been going on for some time. It's Jordan that's carrying out these humanitarian aid drops. Germany, France, Belgium, a number of other countries are doing it as well. They've been pretty heavily criticised, actually, for being not very effective. They don't deliver anywhere near enough aid needed to address the humanitarian shortages in Gaza. They're also quite dangerous. People have been killed in Gaza when food parcels have dropped on top of them. And they're just seen as performative, symbolic more than practical. But having said that, given the acute shortages and the hunger crisis in Gaza right now, we delivered 6.5 tons of powdered milk and tinned food. For some people in Gaza, that could mean the difference between life and death. But I think the real value of us being on the plane today was that we were able to get a glimpse inside Gaza and have a look from a bird's eye view, quite literally, the sheer devastation that has been wrought across the Gaza Strip by almost 2 years now of a constant campaign by Israel against Hamas and other militant groups inside Gaza. And it was a really shocking scene. So much of it has been laid to waste. It's like a sort of moonscape, a desert of ruins, where there's still a lot of people, of course, increasingly struggling to survive. Jake.
All right, Matthew Chance in Amman, Jordan, thank you so much. With us now, Ephraim Halevi, who, among other top security jobs, was once director of Israel's National Intelligence Agency, the Mossad, in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. What is your reaction to what we're hearing today from Prime Minister Netanyahu, that his government intends to take control of all of Gaza?
I think the general sentiment in Israel is, as you have heard just now, that a vast majority of Israelis do not wish this plan to come into fruition. As you know, the cabinet is now in session. they have not yet reached a finalization of what they're going to do. There's a very strong group of ministers in the cabinet who do not accept Mr. Netanyahu's position and his policy. And what concerns us more is to get the hostages that are still alive back home, because for quite several months there was no negotiation of any content, and the Hamas simply dragged their feet. And as this was going on, obviously hostages probably were losing their lives.
Yeah. You appear in a new video this week in which generations of Israel's former security chiefs say it's time to end the war. Do you think that this video that you participated in is making any difference with the Netanyahu government or with the Israeli citizens?
I don't think it's making any real and practical steps by the Israeli government in this direction. But we are a group of people, all of us heads of services, and we've got together several months before because we believe that the dangers that we've confronted in Israel are not only Gaza, but also the internal crisis, the constitutional crisis in Israel. And it's very difficult for us as former heads of services to accept the methodology of Mr. Netanyahu, because we do not believe that, as he's wishing to do and actually practically doing, to change the constitution of Israel. And one of the steps taken just a few days ago was the dismissal of the Attorney General. And she has refused to accept this order of being actually removed from office. And this is up for the Supreme Court to decide this.
Yeah.
But this is only one way of looking at what is happening in Israel, which is not something that we have ever encountered before.
We keep seeing, obviously, these images of dire conditions in Gaza, including malnourished, starving Palestinian children. Last week, the British newspaper, the Jewish Chronicle, reported that at a meeting of the UK's Board of Deputies, which is a leadership group of British Jews, as you know, attendees told the newspaper that the leader of the Board of Deputies, Phil Rosenberg, quote, said Israel was increasingly at risk of moving towards pariah state status in the international community. Obviously, Mr. Rosenberg is a big supporter of Israel. Do you share that concern? How worried are you about Israel becoming a pariah state?
I don't think Israel will become a pariah state. What I do think is possible that the UN Assembly in September will decide to accept Palestine as a member of the United Nations. That is something which is on the agenda, which Israel opposes. But I think they have a vast majority that will vote for this move, unless the United States in the Security Council vetoes this.
All right. Ephraim Halevi, thank you so much for your time today, sir. Really appreciate it.